Hello, I'm Jill Savitt, the CEO of the National Center for Civil and Human Rights, and I am delighted to welcome you to this convening for the International Human Trafficking Institute. You all have made an incredible difference over these last 3 years of this strategic planning period. Most importantly, you have reached a major goal of IHTI, which is training 50,000 people. So I offer my sincere congratulations to all of you and to the team at IHTI. As we end this 3-year period, we look ahead to the future and think about what IHTI will do going forward. To that end, we have invited an expert in the field, Ule Ndoye, to conduct a survey for us, to interview some stakeholders, to survey the field, and to think about what we've achieved over the past 3 years and what we could or should do going forward. Ule is going to present that research to you today, and we are going to take this summer to figure out what the center has the capacity to do, the bandwidth to do, and where the gaps are in the field, and put all of that information together and map out what IHTI's mission will be going forward. We will be delighted to share that with you this fall. Congratulations to all of you. Thanks so much for being here, for your compassion, your advocacy, your energy. We appreciate it. Thanks.
Good afternoon, and thank you again for joining us today to celebrate IHTI on reaching the finish line, training 50,000 people to recognize the signs of both labor and sex trafficking. In 2019, IHTI partnered with the National Center for Civil and Human Rights, forming a relationship to traffic-proof vulnerable people, prevent buyer demand, and change consumer habits. Over the past 3 years, IHTI has hosted the eye-opening experience both in person and virtually. It has held critical conversations and trainings with several partnering agencies, including the Super Bowl, the Canadian Consulate, the National Casa Gal Trafficking in America Task Force, Puyallup Tribe of Seattle, Washington, and Georgia PTA. We are here today to celebrate the many ambassadors who trained others toward this common and much needed goal. We celebrate the companies, the foundations, the individuals who have funded the efforts of IHTI. We do this with grateful appreciation for their partnerships. And finally, we celebrate the many organizations who have invited IHTI to provide trainings. Their acceptance opened the field for IHTI to expand its community outreach to further inform and equip others. At the start of the pandemic, IHTI pivoted, providing training and programming virtually. We owe much appreciation to those individuals who often battled through Zoom fatigue to learn something, see something, and do something about human trafficking. In closing, we celebrate and thank the founding executive director, Deborah Richardson, whose passion and vision were at the heart of this work. We will now hear from supporters of IHTI.
I'm Christian Fisher, President and CEO of Georgia Pacific. Here at Georgia Pacific, we believe that tackling such tough issues like human trafficking makes us both a better partner in the community and a better steward of our community. So we've been very supportive of the International Human Trafficking Institute's efforts to pursue their vision of letting no child be exploited for labor and sex. I personally became aware of the issue through my kids' schools a few years ago, and it gave me a sense of urgency to act, but also confidence to raise the issue within the company. So we discussed with our leadership what we could do to leverage our skills, abilities, capabilities of the firm to help in this fight. We staged a pretty broad education program within the firm to raise awareness, but also to equip our people with the ability to detect signs of human trafficking and to know what to do when they saw something like that. And we also enabled many of our employees that were so willing to go into their own communities and help work on this important cause. And obviously, along the way, we got a lot of cooperation and collaboration from organizations and companies, not just inside the community, but also from outside of Atlanta that were willing to help. So I really believe that in order to get started, you just get started. You don't need to have all the answers. And I really sincerely appreciate the leadership of the International Human Trafficking Institute to lead the charge here in Atlanta and to help put an end to human trafficking.
Hi, my name is Tamika Risch. I'm Vice President of Events for the Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta United, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I've been working with the International Human Trafficking Institute since 2018. And I've been honored to be the marketing chair for the Institute for the last couple of years. And I'm grateful for the work that IHTI has done to educate people on the problem of human trafficking here in Atlanta and around the world. But also the work that we were able to do with Super Bowl, when 23 of 32 missing children were found in Atlanta during a month time period of canvassing convenience stores, quick service restaurants, and local truck stops. And I think that one statistic sums up my pride for this organization and the work that it's been able to do to decrease the demand of trafficking here in Atlanta.
Hi, my name is Jeray Mazik, Assistant Dean of Students in the Dean of Students Office at Georgia State University. And we are proud to say that we have worked with IHTI over the past 3 years educating our students about human trafficking and sex trafficking. Without the work of IHTI, we would not have been able to bring multiple programs, services, and resources to our students. We really honor the work they're doing and looking forward to continued work.
Hi there, my name is Dr. Mia O'Burlton, and I'm a senior lecturer at Kennesaw State University in the Health Promotion and Physical Education Department. For the past 2 years, I have supported the work for IHTI, and we continue to support the vision of IHTI with no child being exploited in labor or sex. I encourage my students to attend the Human Trafficking Awareness Training as well as the other talks that are hosted by IHTI. Many of my students often remark that having this experience has been very beneficial and eye-opening to them, and they're very thankful for this information and training. Thank you.
My name is Linda Bressler, and I am co-chair of AAX for the last 7 years. We're a group that started at Hafez Achim Synagogue with the mission of abolishing child sex trafficking through awareness, advocacy, and action. For the past 3 years, we have been partners with IHTI's faith-based outreach program. Many of our committee members participated in the Learn, See, Do ambassador training, which enabled us to go out into the community and speak on the issue of domestic minor sex trafficking. We are extremely proud to have been a part of IHTI's remarkable feat of reaching 50,000 people in 3 years. From Uber, Lyft, bus, taxi drivers to corporations, businesses, Atlanta sports teams, and fans, our community was made aware of this insidious problem and taught how to become advocates, recognize it, and do something about child sex trafficking. We also took part in a bus tour sponsored by IHTI of Atlanta's schools, hotels, and areas of high trafficking, which increased our understanding and scope of the problem. The staff and professionals at the Institute were always available to help and guide us with our own programs and events. As a member of AAX, I am very proud of the collaboration we experienced with IHTI and other faith-based groups in Atlanta and around the state. We continue to believe in the IHTI vision that no child should be exploited for labor or sex. They have accomplished so much, and there is still a great deal to be done in attacking this problem.
Hi, my name is Story Kilgore, and I'm a detective with the Paulding County Sheriff's Office in Dallas, Georgia. For the past 3 years, we've supported the work of the International Human Trafficking Institute. We continue to believe in the International Human Trafficking Institute vision that no child should be exploited for labor or sex. Before being introduced to the International Human Trafficking Institute, few people in our community knew the extent of the issue involving the exploitation of our children for sex and labor. Many people believed it did not happen in their communities. They believed it only happened in large cities or in other countries. Now so many have benefited from the International Human Trafficking Institute bringing awareness and teaching us how to look for the signs of our children being victims of the exploitation. I had the privilege to host an International Human Trafficking Institute training summit here in Paulding County and had many government leaders attend to learn about the very real issue of human trafficking and the effects on our children in our communities, schools, and our state. The International Human Trafficking Institute has provided many training programs, and during the pandemic, they never stopped providing awareness and training to everyone who wanted to learn, and delivered the information to help protect and save our children from exploitation. Through continued online training, I was able to be a member of the movement to Human Traffic Proof, the ATL, and expand my knowledge and training through International Human Trafficking Institute efforts. I completed the online ambassador training among other valuable trainings provided by the organization. It has been an honor to be allowed to assist in providing trainings on the subjects such as online safety and our children, and speak with local Eagle Scout groups. Deborah Richardson and Deandra Marshall has worked tirelessly to make sure children are no longer exploited for labor or sex. I look forward to continuing to be a part of this very important organization and its efforts to stop the exploitation of our children in the future.
My name is Jessie Dagan, and I serve as a government attorney here in the Atlanta metro area. For the past 3.5 years, I have supported the work of IHTI. I continue to believe in IHTI's vision that no child should be exploited for labor or sex. During my time serving as a volunteer, I have seen IHTI's reach go to the highest level and its training expand globally, all for the purpose of protecting those from labor or sex trafficking, a service that will continue to be of need in the near future and beyond. I support IHTI.
My name is Naisha McDowell, and I am the statewide care coordinator for the Children's Advocacy Centers of Georgia CSEC Response Team. For the past 3 years, I have supported the work of IHTI. Due to the amazing work of this organization, I was inspired to make human trafficking prevention and advocacy my life's work. I cannot thank the IHTI team and ambassadors enough for their commitment to this human rights issue. We continue to believe in the IHTI vision that no child should be exploited for labor or sex. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ule Ndoye, and I'm excited to be here with you all today as we celebrate the milestones and accomplishments of the International Human Trafficking Institute. I've worked in this field of human trafficking prevention and rehabilitation for the last 15 years, and I have to say that what IHTI has managed to accomplish from 2018 to now is remarkable. In a 3-year time span, so much has been done, and we're here today to both acknowledge that work and think together collectively about what the future may hold. IHTI has been blessed with many stakeholders in the community, including many participants, conveners, community leaders, trainers, and you. I especially want to thank the survivors of human trafficking who've engaged with this work and really ensured that everything that we do here serves the greater good of the cause to end human trafficking. Direct service providers and practitioners who work in the field every day are so important to this work, and we couldn't have done so much of what we have accomplished without your contributions and partnership. And to the business community leaders and donors, we thank you so much for your contributions and your support throughout the past 3 years and well into the future. Lastly, I'd like to thank the IHTI staff who's done so much to make this all possible. From Deborah Richardson founding this institute in 2018 to DeAndre Davidson Marshall, who has done so much to make these trainings a reality. I'd also like to take the time to thank Jill Savitt, the CEO of the Center for Civil and Human Rights, for bringing me on board for this partnership. This has been a wonderful opportunity to explore the ways in which we can really further the work as we look ahead. To bring you up to speed on the methodology, we sought to examine the mission of the IHTI and how it was understood in the broader community. Next, we wanted to look at the impact and assess where IHTI was most effective over the last 3 years. And most importantly, as we think about the future, we're examining what IHTI is uniquely poised to contribute to the future efforts to end human trafficking. One of the major accomplishments that's been 3 years in the making was this goal that we just reached within a matter of a couple weeks ago, and that is training 50,000 people. That is a major milestone that IHTI set out to do in 2018 and has now successfully accomplished that. Congratulations to everyone who took part in these trainings and helped to lead them. As we asked the stakeholders in the community about how we were able to reach our mission and impact the community, what came back resoundingly was IHTI's strengths in training, educating the community, convening important partners in this fight to end human trafficking, and communicating broadly with the public. We gathered lots of feedback, and I want to share with you some of the quotes that really stood out. A nonprofit leader said IHTI's greatest strength is in its trainings. A leader of an organization that provides direct service in this field said IHTI helped to bridge the gap between the nonprofit community on the ground and the larger corporate and civic spaces to create one shared response. A university professor said IHTI serves as a mass communications leader in this space. It is our public-facing, public-private partner. A corporate leader shared that IHTI is a great umbrella organization to provide resources, awareness, and overall organization for so many of the human trafficking organizations working in this space. So again, the study I'm conducting is focused on the future of IHTI. We first conducted a brief preliminary evaluation of the past 3 years to confirm some key concepts in terms of IHTI's success. The areas where IHTI has been most successful are areas we are considering building upon into the future. My primary focus while conducting this evaluation is on the needs of the trafficking field going forward and how IHTI can best be a part of this. I want to commend all of the work of IHTI and its stakeholders as you have collectively joined forces and managed to achieve the goal outlined from the beginning. This is no small feat, and we couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. As we've shared, trainings are what IHTI has been best known for. Parties interviewed believe IHTI was extremely effective at training and educating the community. And as a convener in this space, IHTI was able to communicate with large numbers of people to raise awareness. As a secular organization, IHTI was uniquely able to bring this message into corporate spaces, thereby reaching a wider audience. We wish to continue and deepen the trainings and engagement, and many people shared that there are particular organizations and entities that can benefit most from this. After speaking with a wide range of IHTI stakeholders, we feel it is important to convey back to the field the range of needs and priorities that members of this field have identified. While the center cannot commit to pursuing work in all of the areas at once, we do wish to share this feedback that we've received so far. College campuses, K-12 schools, the business community are all areas that IHTI has trained, and many have asked to see those trainings continued. People have also pointed out that young boys and men, as well as young girls and women, can receive the training directed to them and their special needs in this area of understanding better how they can prevent trafficking from happening. People have asked for bilingual trainings to help the Spanish community better understand what resources are available and what can be done to help if they themselves find human trafficking happening in their midst. Civic organizations, religious institutions, government, law enforcement, Sororities and fraternities, again, are areas that IHTI has worked with in the past, and our stakeholders have asked for this engagement to continue. Many people have asked IHTI to engage more with policy. That includes understanding policy, helping the public understand how policy impacts human trafficking and where the gaps remain. There's a need for further understanding of labor trafficking, sex trafficking, and how it impacts women ages 18 and over, as well as how human trafficking impacts trans and LGBTQI youth. One of our stakeholders pointed out the importance of standard operating procedures. SOPs are needed to help teach law enforcement what they can do when they encounter a victim and how to best handle these kinds of calls. Many people pointed out that Generation Z is ready to take action and uniquely poised to carry this movement into the future. We've been asked to work closely with the next generation of social justice advocates in finding ways to involve and engage youth who are our future change agents. People have pointed out that the Center for Civil and Human Rights is uniquely poised to be a central meeting place in our community and could provide a safe space for meeting, organizing, and community-led advocacy. We've been asked to create toolkits, providing the who, what, when, where, and how. When you see something, say something. This has been a saying and a mantra of IHTI from the beginning, meaning when you see something, teach citizens how to recognize that they're seeing signs of human trafficking and how to best say something. What do you do when you witness potential problems? These toolkits could also help engage on policy issues. We've been asked to better explain the debates that exist in this field. The human trafficking field has a wide range of opinions about how to best combat the issue. And the center could provide the public with all sides of these major debates in the field so that people can be better educated to take a stand in the ways that they see fit. Research is needed, and we hear this over and over again, that more research is needed on human trafficking. An IHTI stakeholder said this very succinctly during one of our interviews, and some suggested research topics that I've collected over the past several weeks are about the sexualization of young Black and Brown girls, the many connections between race and human trafficking, that includes both labor and sex trafficking, as well as gender and human trafficking and the intersections that exist there. There's so much intersectionality on these issues, and research can help bring that to the front and center of the debates and conversations. Technology and human trafficking and cyberbullying. This is something that we've seen rise over the past year during this pandemic as people spend more and more time online, and human trafficking recruitment increases in cyberspaces. How do we protect our children? How do young adults, adolescents, teenagers, men, women, and everyone better protect themselves? Foster care as a pathway to human trafficking. And is it fitting to call human trafficking modern day slavery? These are all debates and areas for further research. Visibility is something that many people often ask for. How do we create more billboards and awareness campaigns? IHTI wants to recognize that this is a sensitive topic, and increasing visibility on this issue must be approached with caution, that they're therefore applying sensitivity around these issues to any publications and information that's put out into the public. People in our stakeholder community have suggested launching awareness campaigns, creating exhibitions within the center, and also engaging media to create more accurate and sensitive coverage around these issues. You are a stakeholder in this work, and that's why you are joining us here today. And so we really want to hear from you. If you haven't already, we invite you to visit www.ihtinstitute.org/2021 survey to help us better understand what you see as IHTI's greatest strengths and areas for growth. Thus far, we've heard from 65 people, and 86.2% of the respondents have participated in IHTI's activities over the past 3 years. And of those 65 responses, 86.1% say that absolutely IHTI's work is helping to end human trafficking. The other 16.9% aren't quite sure. And so again, we invite you to visit this website to learn more about the work that's been done thus far, to access some of the recordings of trainings that have been held over the course of this past year plus during the pandemic, and also to keep an eye out for what happens next. You can be a part of deciding what happens next by filling out this survey. And we ask you to not only fill out the survey, but if you have a friend or family member that's accompanied you to anything IHTI has done over the last 3 years, will you please cut and paste this link, text it, email it, and share it with your networks widely. The more people that we hear from among our stakeholder community, the better we will be able to serve your needs moving forward. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for your dedication to ending human trafficking.
How sick is the mind of an individual who preys on another's bondage? A toast to the hosts who boast at the idea of one captured being paid homage, morbidly capturing lives. Stripping individuals of their state of mind, who you and I define as a predator, can look like a stranger, familiar neighbor, family member, friend, who suddenly poses as a danger. Human trafficking ends when we begin to identify a red flag early enough to save a dim light, late enough to have missed the red light. Awareness protects and saves lives so that they can run in fields of green, experiencing happiness where it feels most serene. Yellow, slow down and pay attention to your surroundings. These vultures come on the scene as soon as our train of thought and lack of protecting leaves. They are the reason for our fallen leaves.
How sick is the mind? You may think that your neighborhoods are safe, but you never know what someone has locked behind a gate. A gate they keep closed so that their lives won't unfold. A trafficker can be closer than you think. You never know how low someone is willing to sink. You may have a friend that wants to make money quick and on the low, but remind them they can always say no. Traffickers hunt day and night, and they expect you to put up a fight. Sugaring is one of those terms used to describe how traffickers abuse. They train you how to think, act, and speak so they can lock that gate and throw away the key. Whenever you see red flags from someone you're around, remember your voice can always make a sound so loud that it can warn everyone around that there is a trafficker lurking on the grounds.
How sick is the mind? You've been warned. Near you is a creeper, a body reaper. Traffickers can be anyone. Don't be fooled by these deceivers. From a stranger to someone who you know. Traffickers wear a mask, seeking victims on the low, preying on those who are both vulnerable and weak. His body and her body no longer have the right to speak. The trafficker, selling bodies like bodies are meant to be free, snatching up children and people like you and me. It's sickening. Can't you see? They have no remorse or regrets for this growing industry. So again, you've been warned. Beware of these deceivers until this industry has been scorned.
How sick is the mind?
A kind look in the eyes is all a disguise for deep hidden lies. Take it all in, see all that you can. Doesn't matter whether you're a woman or a man. The power is in your hands. Remember, you are never alone. With your voice, you can speak any command. Let these abusers be shown. We are in this together. Never forget, we can overcome abuse. Let's stop this neglect.